All right, hello, welcome. My name is Shayna. I'm an astrologer, but today we're doing something a little bit different because we are talking about tarot. If you didn't know, I actually am very into tarot. Obviously, astrology will always be my number one, but I do watch a lot of tarot girlies on YouTube, and I've officially been influenced, and basically that's what this video is about. I hear all the time about just the most amazing deck you've ever come to witness, and I hear about it online all the time. I never have seen this deck in person. I would have never heard of it if I wasn't on the YouTube sphere, and I also definitely would have never looked twice at it, okay? But after hearing so many people rave about it, and even looking online and just seeing like 5-star rave, this is like my favorite go-to best deck in the entire world, I was like, okay, I need to see if this deck is worth the hype. I need to see if this deck is actually, worth sucking its dick over as much as everybody online just seems to literally do. Will be like, this deck is so hot, I would fuck this deck if I could. Like, people are just basically one step away from just doing the deed with this thing. It really feels like it. But this is the Tarot of Vampires, and I'm not like the biggest vampire person ever, and so that's why I've always been very skeptical about this deck. But before I get any further, let me just do some quick little advertising, okay? First of all, I sell full-length readings on my website, shainaemily.com. Now, you might not know this, but I actually do also sell full-length tarot readings, and with any astrology reading that you get from me, I also pretty much always, if you consent to it, I pull a few cards for you. I also have an astrology TikTok, and I have a personal Instagram, but okay, let's get into it. I'm going to do this video in 2 parts. So this is the first part. All right, this is going to be my first impressions. I've literally just took off the wrapping. I have not even opened it up. So this is going to be my first impressions and an initial flip through. And then there will be a second part to this video where I update you maybe about like a month, maybe a month and a half later, where feel like I've used it a little bit. So what are my final thoughts on this deck? And basically, I'm going to answer the question, is this very, 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 very talked about deck worth all the fucking hype? Is it? So if I'm not mistaken, this is a Rider-Waite-Smith inspired deck. It comes with a big guidebook, which is a big selling point that a lot of people talk about with this deck. I bought this deck on magic.com. I got it for $22 on sale, but I think it normally retails for $32. Also, as I mentioned, I've been trying to dress for the vibe of the video. So I kind of copied what I thought would be the vibe of this Tarot of Vampires deck, which is very like 2012 to 2014 Tumblr wannabe goth. So that's kind of what I did. Very like half-assed American Apparel, you know what I mean? What I think I'm going to think of this deck before I even open it up, I think I'm going to think the vampire aesthetic is goofy. Like, flat out, I already think the vampire aesthetic is kind of goofy the way they did it. I think it's a little corny. I think it's, this cover is pretty, and I like her dress. So you may be thinking, why the fuck would I even get this deck? And it's because everybody says that even if you don't like this deck, even if you don't care about it, this book that comes with the deck is worth the money in itself. And it just has so many like really deep, inquisitive, like new things to add to the cards. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to get this deck. And if I don't like the deck, at least I'm pretty sure I'm going to really be a big fan of the booklet that comes with it. And I think that's going to really advance my tarot study. And hopefully I'll be like, oh, it's worth the $22 that I paid for it. Or maybe even $32 just because the book is so great. But that's my guess. So now let's see what I actually think about it. This is my first impression of the Tarot of Vampires by Ian Daniels. If you watched either of my tarot deck collection or oracle deck collection videos, I love boxes. So first of all, love that. I love the magnet box. You see, that is satisfying. So first of all, we're doing well. Okay, this is very much how I expected it to look on the inside. The vampire stuff with me, I always feel like I almost like it, but it's just like left of center. There's always something that just feels a little bit corny, a little bit just goofy to me. You know what I mean? Just a little bit like, I guess, out of this generation, right? You know what I mean? That's the best way I could put it. Okay, I love that they have the little ribbon. Okay, this book is thick. Can you see this? Oh, this is nice. Who publishes this? Oh, Llewellyn. She just like has an empire, I think, more than anything. I do like the look of this book so far. It does seem very thick, very meaty. This is called a Phantasmagoria. I don't know what that means. I should know what that means. This is funny. She's got the Gemini on here, and then she has the Venus on here. I wonder if there'd be like little symbols throughout each card. It like associates like maybe an astrological sign with each card. That would be really cool, and you have to like find it. So it says surrender to your spiritual hunger. Step into the rapturous world of vampires and let your imagination reveal hidden truths. I hope this whole thing isn't written like this. You descend into your deepest shadows. Only then can you rise to the radiant light of the divine. I really hope only the back is written like that, because if the whole thing is written like that, I'm not going to want to read it. Okay, I'm going to get a quick flip through this book here. The part one, I guess there's like 50 pages of just like introduction and just like letting you know the backstory and all that stuff. And then it goes into the major arcana and the minor arcana. Okay, this is a whole book though. This is really a legitimate book. Oh, wow. Look at this. I actually really might like this book. I think somebody might have mentioned that this is partly inspired by the Thoth Tarot and all that sort of stuff. So this probably does, honestly, already looking into it. I think everybody's right. It has a lot more to it than what meets the eye. I really don't care about spreads. Does anybody actually pay attention to the spreads and use the spreads unless you're like not just like the first month into getting into tarot, right? Oh, it does. I think it does actually. I think I was right. It might really have astrological correspondences in every single card. Dynasty card. It has a whole thing. Oh, this is really interesting. It does not have a picture of the card, but oh my God, look at how many pages are for each major arcana card. This is insane. But yeah, these are so in detail. Let's see, for each one, it has a little summary thing. It says essence and then the message, analysis and symbolism, and the shadow. So it even has, oh, guys, it actually also has reversed interpretations, which is so big for me. Oh, it's called something different. This is like the Lord of Knives. Okay. Oh, it looks like also it's like Skulls Lord. So there's some changes here. Some people like it, some people don't. I actually don't mind it that much if it's naturally intuitive, but I do understand why people don't like it because it can be frustrating when it just feels like it doesn't match up. You know what I mean? I just don't know if I could be like, yeah, this is the deck that I want to like stick my dick in, because everybody seems to be like that up its ass. You know what I mean? So now let's get into what is basically the bulk of this video, which is the flip through. Okay, so let's take a look at what I think about the main point of this deck, which is the cards. Oh my God, I meant to say this so much earlier, but the elephant in the room is that my nails look like shit. They really, really look like shit. Let's get into what the backs look like. So, okay, it's very plasticky. Oh, you can hear it. They kind of stick together a little bit. I'm surprised that people love this deck so much. This cardstock really is cheap and really sucks. And really just must be the book. Like, that's my only thought. This is what the backs look like. They're almost pretty. Like, they're almost pretty, but they're not. I like the thorny roses for the back. I think that's a good vibe with the vampire thing. But, like, these are funny that they're photoshopped in there. The Photoshop blood splatter looks pretty goofy. And then it's, like, kind of blurred out weird. And it's just, like, a Photoshoppy rose. And then, like, none of the art style is the same. It's really weird. I don't know. Like, I almost like it, but I just don't. Let's, like, just start with looking at... Let's just look at the first card. I think it looks corny. Oh, look. But look, you can see... Pluto. Well, it's weird that they have Pluto on the Fool. Wouldn't it be Uranus? It doesn't say what it's associated with other than air. It's interesting that it has Pluto here. It's weird that it's bordered. God, there's so many things that I don't really like about this deck off the bat. This is okay, but doesn't this look like a video game? This totally looks like a video game message where it's like the, you know, do you pick this or do you pick this? Very Skyrim almost, right? Kind of vibes. I don't know. And then it's weird that there's like just like a what feels like a photoshopped rose. I'm just gonna assume that it's like the Thoth Tarot, Golden Dawn Tarot, where it's just representative of a bunch of stuff. And when I read this book, I'll understand more. So yeah, but off the bat, just looking at it, do I feel like I understand the card and the essence of the Fool? Looking at the Fool, no. Let me just get into the next card. Oh, you hear that? Ew. The Priestess. It's not even High Priestess, just Priestess. What is that? A floating couch? Oh, it's a book. Oh, wait, where's the Magician? Oh, it was stuck together. Oh, this is such a goofy magician. Oh my goodness, I can't take this seriously. This is like my favorite card of the deck, and it's just so goofy looking. Maybe I'll find that I really connect with it. Oh, Mercury. Okay, this one makes sense. Am I missing something? Why is Pluto here? And, you know, there's like the 4 elements, I think. I mean, it's good. It's basic magician, but I personally think it looks a little corny. The Priestess, she's prettier. It's still, the art style isn't my favorite. Let's just keep going. Okay, so this is the Empress. This is probably my favorite card so far, by far. Makes sense that she has Venus here. So far, I think I hit the nail on the head with that. Thank you, thank you. I kind of like this Emperor. I think these two make a good pair. So far, these are my two favorite cards. I suspect that this book would actually be like a really shitty, like, what can I think of? Like, oh, it's like a smut book. Doesn't this look like it would be a smut book based on this Emperor? Like, you know I'm right. I read Twilight when I was in elementary school. I finished all the books by 4th grade, and I thought I was too old for it then. So, I don't know. Okay, the Hierophant. None of these are just, like, that exciting to me, that interesting to me. Let's keep going. The Lovers. Yeah, it makes sense. Very sensual, but I feel like this looks weird with, like, going into her hair. And he looks very feminine. He's wearing, like, a bunch of makeup. Like, it just feels very, like, smut, vampire, adult, fiction sort of vibe, which is, maybe that was the point. If so, they executed it great. The Chariot. I think this is actually a pretty good representation of the Chariot. I think this is one of my favorite cards so far. Justice. I mean, it's all okay. It's all very much just like Rider-Waite interpretation. So let's keep going. This is a very interesting interpretation of the Hermit card because he's like surrounded and it looks like he's like running away. This is much more urgency to it, which is interesting. I like that. Oh, this looks so goofy. But the Wheel of Fortune is one of my favorite cards. They really cut down a lot of the names. I don't know why I don't like the tones that they use. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. All right, I scooted some stuff over. Hopefully you like it. This looks a little bit better. You can focus on it a little bit more, you know, all that sort of stuff. Okay, I would just have to say that this book, right? This book right here, this book better be the most insightful piece of fucking literature I've ever fucking read. This better be everybody's fucking favorite deck for a reason. This is the best card. This so far is the literal best card that they've had. That is badass. What the fuck is happening to him? He's like part of the tree, but he's getting like crucified upside down. Oh, I like this Death card. These two cards are probably the best cards. Again, I hate this plasticky, shiny coating. I wish they wouldn't fucking do that. It just looks cheap. The cards feel cheap. They feel thin. Yes, this is a very, you know, inexpensive deck, and it is such a best-selling deck. I feel like you could afford to like really make this look a lot nicer with how much money you're making. Anyways, I like this Death card. She's pretty fucking hot. She's very like, I know it's supposed to be Scorpio, but she gives me like Pisces rising with the way her face shape is. Okay, we're back to the kind of classic, what I think of as like now I would stamp as like tarot vampires look. Got the Sagittarius in there with Temperance. I don't know. She's just being melodramatic for some fucking reason. I guess when I read it, I'll find out. The Devil. See, I expected more of an orgy, but this is a very censored deck. Dude, I think what would be way better is if they came out with the Tarot of Vampires, just like NC-17 unrated version, or maybe that's just always where my mind goes to. But this boob is so weird. Can we talk about how weird this boob is? Like a bolt-on. It's like just placed on there. He looks like he's fucking coming. I don't know. Is she just like, oh, I wish I could come like that? And she's just like squirting everywhere. And she's just like hanging on to her like beastly impulses or something. And I don't know. I don't know. Or it's just like a hot scene. I don't really get I don't know. I guess I'll find out. The Tower. It's very intact, I will say. For a Tower card, this is a very intact tower. That one is getting hit by lightning and he is running out of it, so maybe it's about to fall down. But I don't know. It's fine. Okay, so the Star card. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. This is one of my, I don't know, this is one of my birth cards. I fucking love this card. And I don't really know if I feel like they did it justice. I would have to say I really feel like they didn't do it justice. But this card is really dull. It's really dark. It doesn't really feel like the star to me. But maybe that's like a part of it. Like maybe you're just supposed to pay attention to like this little beacon of light because it's more of like maybe a shadow work tarot deck. Maybe that's my guess. All right. Yeah, like even the moon is more lit and brighter than the star is. Kind of feeling like there's more hope here than there even is here. She's depressed, maybe. I don't know. I love this tool. Can we talk about how much, I forget what this is called, but this is like one of my favorite, scariest fucking tools. Right? Oh, badass. You know, it's almost like Jasmine Beckett Griffithy, but not with that style in the face, which I kind of wish it had more of that Piscean style in the face. I feel like the way they did the faces looks very flat, very one-dimensional. It's pretty. This is one of the better cards, I think, but oh wow, I wouldn't expect that for the Sun. That's kind of cool. I don't know. He's kind of goofy looking. We're moving on. Judgment. It's goofy. This card is one of my least favorites. It looks like they didn't have a like cohesive idea, and so they just did them all. These are so weird. These are very people oriented. Maybe that's just kind of what's surprising me. Oh, they're all vampires. I almost forgot that they're like all vampires. Right. They're vampires. Okay. I don't know. It's okay. Shouldn't the world be like a lot more stupendous than this? You're just kind of like choking out a snake. I don't know. Ace of Scepters. So this is swords. Scepters. What even is a scepter? But there are not two scepters here. There is only one. Are they gonna comment on that? Are we gonna say something about the fact that there's only one scepter here on the Two of Scepters? What does this even have to do with, I don't know. I can't read that much. Oh, they only have, okay, so they don't care about the number to the thing. That's not a thing. They're just showing the scepter. All right, Four of Scepters. I don't know, she's just masturbating in her room, I guess. Five of Scepters, warding off evil. Okay, I mean, actually, these are pretty intuitive, aren't they? All right. Six of Scepters. He's an animorph. Six of Scepters is wanting to be an animorph. Seven of Scepters. This tells me nothing. Eight of Scepters. He's mad. He's mad, and there's some movement going on. You know, you got the Sagittarius and you got the Mercury there, and that's cool, but you got all these little tribal tattoos going through everything, but it's like that's kind of all I'm feeling going here. You know, that one trick of like, oh, remember at the beginning when I was like, oh, you got the Venus on the thing. I wonder if that's going through. Yeah, it is. That's really cool. That seems like all they have really going for it right now. Okay, yeah, look, wow, the moon. Okay. But what about her? Every single image is just like a girl, like a hot girl, hot guy, with the moon in the background, with maybe fangs, holding a scepter or a snake. That's basically all it's been so far. Oh, hot girl with scepter. How does this stay the 10 of Swords to you? Or is it wands? Is scepters wands? Oh, I should have looked this up. I just assumed it was swords. See, this is the issue with switching things around. So how do you know? Oh, fire. It's wands. Okay, it's wands. Wow. I thought the whole time this was, it probably is really obviously wands because it's like red and hot. Oh. It is. It's like red and hot. Okay. Lord of Scepters. So this is like page, or is it like knight because he's riding the horse? I don't know. I'll find out. Okay, so this is probably the Knight of Scepters if this is the Queen of Scepters. Again, we got the person, we got the scepter, and we got a random animal. Maybe this will help me understand animal attributes more, and they'll talk about that kind of correspondences. Oh, so okay, so we have the Lord, the Queen, and then in this tarot vampire world, we think that the prince is above the queen. This feels like I'm such in like an erotic novel. That's just, but without the eroticism, but without fucking getting off. It's leaving me with blue balls here. I don't know. All right. Oh, Daughter of Scepters? What? But it's weird that it's prince and she's not princess. She's the daughter. That's so weird to me. Oh, that was it. That's the last one. The daughter's at the top? There's no king? What? This is so weird. You guys, come on. Okay, this really doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't have to be traditional Rider-Waite. I guess I just don't understand the hierarchy. The wands or scepters were like a red tone, and then it looks like the grail is cup, I'm gonna assume, and for some reason it's green. It just kind of looks like goo, don't you think? Yeah, it's water. Okay. Oh, isn't that off-putting? It feels like gooey. But maybe that's the point of this deck. Maybe it's like they'll go into it in this, you know, amazing, just most fantastically, most preciously published book in the entire world. That I guess is why it's worth going through the tackiness of this fucking deck. You know, maybe this will just tell me that people just have bad taste. But I don't want to think everybody has bad taste. I want to think people know what they're talking about. Okay, Two of Grails, Two of Cups. Okay, that makes sense. Again, oh, I want you. Oh, jealousy. She's pouring it out. I don't know. Okay. It's very green. It's weird how green it is. They feel very sick. Maybe it's like how, you know, love and hope and faith and all those beautiful things can make you like sickly almost to the point, you know, even with like this Four of Cups here. Is this like a mermaid? Who is this? What is this? I don't even know what this creature is. Okay, I mean, I'm assuming there's lore. Dude, this girl's hair looks goofy as hell. Dude, if this was like a picture, and if this is a real person, you know this bitch would be like, girl, I had so many good pictures of myself and you chose this one. Look at me from the side profile. I'm obviously a beautiful Gemini rising, and this was the picture that you picked. Oh my God. But this is pretty nice. I just don't like how the hair, it's like so unflattering. Seven of Grails. It's so green. It's just so green. I wish it just wasn't so one note. We got Medusa going on. So, I mean, I guess there'll be more than just vampires. Maybe there'll be, I mean, there already have been quite a few mythological creatures. You know what this deck feels like? It feels like that King of the Hill episode. This is what Hank Hill did not want Bobby to get a hold of, was this deck specifically. I still have not seen a better card than the Hanged Man and Death. Those are still my favorites. Oh, he's playing a little instrument there, isn't he? Yeah. They really did not hide these at all. They're like actually really obvious. No, this art style, it just looks so glossed over. I wish there was just a little bit more depth to it. Like, this looks so one-dimensional, especially these roses. Okay, now we have this shit that makes no sense. We have the Lord. We have the Queen. She does not look like a queen. She looks very young. With that flat-ass hair, bitch, put a wig on, put a weave on, put something on. What the fuck's going on? I guess add some volume to that hair, Miss Queen of Cups. Is this what everybody thinks is hot? Is this what all girls that are into this stuff think is hot? This is so gay. I don't know what else to say. Am I allowed to say that? If I leave that in, that's ballsy of me. Listen, I love gay stuff. Okay, everybody that's gay can agree that she needs a wig, that she needs to volumize her hair. So I guess it's not, it's like your seatbelt is fucking up gay, not like drag queen actual gay. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. Oh gosh. I'm so unimpressed. It feels like they just didn't want to have to draw her feet. Okay, now we're on to the knives, which is swords. It's fine. Two of knives. That's like very Rider-Waite interpretation. That makes sense. Oh, I like her. She's cool. This is one of my favorites for some reason. It's kind of weird how they kind of have her bent over. It's kind of unflattering. What's bleeding? Where's the blood from? Is that like the whole point? It's from, oh, it's from like the, oh, it's like the blood of her lover. She's cool. She's very like icy queen. Oh, I like this one too with the little fairy. Again, hair flat. We need to fix that. This one's okay. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe I just have Stockholm Syndrome with the stack, that I've been looking at it for so long that anything that is the least bit appealing to me, I'm like, oh, here's something. Like this is, maybe I just like the knives more. Like this is nice. I like the colors. I feel like there's a lot more to look into here. A lot more symbolism. Don't like this one. This one's really lame. Right? It just feels like his artwork isn't the best. This one's okay. This feels very, oh, this, we are twinning. Like, I feel like she is totally that 2014 Tumblr vibe that I felt like the deck would give off. I would have really liked this maybe when I was in elementary school. This is okay. I feel like that's what I'm saying a lot of the times. I don't like this card at all. I can't tell you why, but I do not like this card. Like, it feels just so repetitive. It really does feel repetitive. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep going. The lords all look the same. Queen of, like, she has no power. Like this, she looks like she has the face of the daughter. She doesn't look like a queen of swords. Ew. What is he howling at the moon as a vampire? Wait, werewolves are the full moon, not vampires, right? Why is it a full moon in every single picture? It just has to be nighttime. That doesn't mean that it's the full moon every night. This looks so goofy. Oh no! You're kidding me. You did not just give me this card. Dude, this is like wannabe skins. Oh my god, the long Tumblr hair with the tights and then the pattern and then those like really corny, like it's probably like a heeled boot. Oh man, I hate this card. Oh, that looks so bad. That skull, this skull looks like fucking when people go on Ink Master. They draw a shitty skull and it's like, you need to put some more depth in there. And then it's that ugly iridescent purple. This card's okay. Oh, so skulls are pentacles? Right? I like this one. Maybe it's because it's the Capricorn card. I'm into this card a lot. Maybe I'll like the pentacles a little more because it's the earth. I don't know. She looks so funny. She looks like she's in a weird, she's so awkwardly posed. Like if this is a person posing like this, they'd feel very uncomfortable. Ew, this is so bad. Guys, this is so bad. This is one of the worst. This is one of the worst. They went too deep into it and nobody checked them. Nobody checked them on this card. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I take it back what I said about me liking the earth stuff more. Oh no. There's two wolves in me. Am I really gonna study this deck for a month? We got a little bit of titty action. Dude, she's got some Peggy Hill ass feet. I watch a lot of King of the Hill. I just can't take this shit seriously anymore. I just can't. I fucking hate this fucking card, bro. They're so much cringier than I thought they would be. And they really are making me question everybody's motives behind recommending this deck. What else is not true about what people say about different like popular decks? Like maybe there is a series here because what the fuck is this deck? The Nine of Schools. I'd wear the fit. 10 of Schools. It's like after she goes, she just sits back down. I don't know. Again, these lords just look exactly like each lord. They're just, are they like the bringer of death? Is that like what they're supposed to be? I don't know. With the horse. What is the undertone of the skull color? I'm actually, look, there's like a bunch of different colors. Every single, is it purple? Or is it yellow? Look, that's yellow. That's blue. I don't like these outfits either. Again, I don't think I like any of the princes. The princes are the worst, I would say, amongst all of them. Oh, I actually like her. This is one of my favorite cards for sure. I feel like maybe just because she reminds me of me. There's something very like Cancer rising in her face. And her outfit's really pretty. She's very soft. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Okay. All right. So far, I don't really like this deck that much, but so far, actually surprisingly enough, I am very interested in using it. I still have pretty good hopes for it. I know that you'd think after me just totally shitting all over the cards and really laughing at them, like really pointing like this and going, ha ha ha, you look goofy. Like I will straight up say, Ian Daniels, you must be a Cancer because you're really fucking corny. Something like that. I don't know. But I'm interested. I think there's more stuff to uncover. I'm going to look more into it. I'm going to study it more. And maybe I'll find that there's a lot more beneath the cards that I resonate with. So the only pro that I see so far is that there obviously is an esoteric connection with them. They obviously are a tarot reader person that, you know, knows a lot about tarot, all that sort of stuff, very versed in it. They're very educated, I think. However, their style, their taste, and their flair is very much just off kilter to mine. There's just something about this that is so wolf tie-dye shirt, you know? I mean, if it was funny and it was like wolf tie-dye shirt tarot, I'd totally buy that, but I don't know. Yeah, it's exactly what I expected it to be so far, if I'm gonna be honest. So I'll see you in my next part. I'll see you in about a month when I update you on what my feelings are about the Tarot of Vampires by Ian Daniels. All right, bye. All right, hello, welcome. It's me about 2 months later, a little bit over that. Hopefully the quality looks better than the previous video. Of course, like literally like 2 days after I filmed that video, I upgraded my iPhone. And also I figured out how to use my camera properly, a little bit better at least. So yes, I have now used this deck for about 2 months, a little bit over that. I used it straight. I did a daily draw and I went through every single card and I read the entire book. So basically what I would do is I would pick one card for the day. I would read the little thing. See, look, you can tell I read it. I highlighted it. Okay, guys, I did it all, okay? And basically after every daily draw, I would put the card away somewhere else. So I made sure that I literally drew every single card. So yeah, it took me a long time. And after a certain point, I was like, I'm over this. But I am glad that I did it. I got the full experience of the deck. And now let's just go into kind of like what my final thoughts are. So instead of just letting you know them, I thought that was really boring. I decided to do a little tier list. So I have a tier list. I know we're all gonna laugh at the fact that like the subjects are just the words in bold print, but I didn't know how else to do it. I know no tier list has ever been this ugly, this bland. It's very obviously made by a Capricorn. A Capricorn made this tier list. It's not pretty, it's just to the point. That's all it is. So let's just get right into it. I guess I'll just start with like the order that it happened to put these in. So quality, the quality of the deck as a whole. Honestly, I have no complaints about the quality. Yes, I don't like the fact that the cards are like super duper shiny, but I'm sorry if there's flies in here, guys. I'm really struggling with this whole fly situation. We have a doggy door. I want the dogs to be able to use the doggy door. The flies come in. I'm struggling with these flies, guys. So I apologize. But yes, quality of the cards, like, yes, I don't like that they're shiny, but that's just preference. That has nothing to do with the quality of them. After using them, like, look, they haven't warped at all. They're still intact. They look new. So, you know, the box, I've used this every day and it's holding up. The book, I will say the binding of the book is a little bit concerning. I started to notice that I think that this is definitely a book that, you know what I'm talking about, when it like kind of lifts up. But then again, it's like, what did I pay? $20 for this? It's like $30 full price or something like that. No, the quality is not S tier because this is not like, you know, a high-end deck. But I would have to put the quality of it in A tier, honestly, especially for the price point. Okay, the aesthetic. The aesthetic of it. So everybody talks about this deck like it's the end-all be-all of gothic decks and gothic romance, and it's just not, it just does not hit for me. After using it every day, like I got really tired, which this will go more into imagery, but I do feel like I was looking at the same picture every single day, day in and day out, and there's really like not much of a range at all on this deck, which was kind of my first impression. I kind of tried to dress like a baby goth in my head, like kind of like kitschy goth, to dress to like the aesthetic. Like this shirt is like it's like crushed velvet. It gives very like costume vibes to me. This is the first time I wore this top. I got it on Depop and it was just not what I expected. It's obviously a part of an old like spirit. It feels like a part of an old Spirit Halloween costume, and you know what? This gives major Spirit Halloween costume vibes. Everybody talks about it like it's the end-all be-all of gothic decks, and I just don't think it is. Now, is it like my least favorite aesthetic? No, it's not like Colette Baron Reed, where it's just so far off of anything that I would even be able to look at for like over 2 months straight. It's probably been 3 months, honestly, that I've been using this deck. I could still stand to look at it. Like the first month, you know, it was like interesting to me to look at. So I'm definitely not giving it like a D or an F. I just didn't put F on here because I don't think there was anything that was an F. So I'll put the aesthetic at C because I'm not a vampire girly. Like everybody frames this deck as like, even if it's not your aesthetic, you should get it. I don't think I agree with that. I thought I would, but I don't think I do. And I'll talk about the book in a second. And yes, the book is great, but if it's not your aesthetic, there's no reason to get this deck. It doesn't teach you enough, and the cards aren't different enough to warrant it. All right, the titles. Okay, you may be like, titles, what does that mean? Because I had to make its own thing for this. The titles drove me absolutely batshit crazy. They changed the titles, and I don't know why. So what I mean by that is knives instead of swords. Why? Why knives? Grails instead of cups. Why? Scepters instead of wands. Scepters, guys, scepters. That's cringe. That's cringe. A scepter, a scepter. Do you see why I dress like this? This is the vibe, guys. And skulls instead of pentacles. That one, I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, why wouldn't you do pentagrams? So what drove me even crazier than that was they made like, I still, after studying this deck every single day, I still am not really clear on what it is. But instead of pages, knights, queens, and kings, and I can't remember what it is, it's like lords, daughters, princesses and God, what is it? See, what is it? Do you even believe me that I use this deck every day for 3 months? Because I did. Look, there's proof that I went through every single card. Like, I don't know why they felt the need to change it so much. I guess just to be different and cool. But honestly, that's the worst part of this deck. That gets a D. Now we're going to talk about the book. So this was the reason why everybody says that you have to get this tarot deck is because of the book, right? The book, oh my God, right? The book. It's good. Surprisingly enough, the descriptions are very positive, which you wouldn't expect because this is such a dark deck. And I will say it did make me see some of the cards that I think of as, you know, you put on, you know, you pin this as like, oh, I don't want this card. It did make me see them in a lot more of a positive light. However, with that, for some reason, because I use reversals and also the deck backs are not reversible. So that's weird. I really don't like that. They do talk about reversed meanings, but they say like the shadow, and that's where they put like all like the bad stuff in it. And it just made it so that when cards are upright, it's positive, and when cards are reversed, it's negative every time. And there's just something about that black and white thinking and black and white interpretation that just did not smack with me. It did not hit. Like, yes, the card meanings are good, but they do repeat themselves a lot. Like, I found it kind of arduous to read this book because there would be like 3 pages, 2.5, like a good substantial amount of information on each card, but it's just like repeating itself a lot. And it would not really spend much time explaining what the actual card was. I'd probably give it, oh, do I give it a B? Oh, I guess I made the descriptions one. So I'll give the book an A, and I'll give the descriptions, like the card descriptions. Oh, should I give that a C? Let me think about it. So I give the book an A just because it is such a substantial book and you can really learn the cards with it. And it does follow pretty traditional meanings while elaborating on them and adding their own thing. And it's just such a real book. I really liked it. It was really easy to read out of. The writing style is easy to understand. The main thing that I will say about the descriptions and why I'm debating if I want to give the descriptions a C is because the symbolism in the cards make no sense. Like, I was trying to remember some examples. They're like, oh yeah, because the panther's the totem of the fire element. And then they would like never describe that. And I was like, well, why is it that way? Who says that? And then it'd be like, obviously blue roses represent sickness. And it's like, what? Like, what? Where does this come from? Does that make sense? Like, I'm not saying that's an actual example. It's very almost like unintuitive to me sometimes. Like, there was one card where it was like, oh, check the previous meaning for the story behind why her knife is bloody. And then I'll like check the previous card description and it'll be just as elusive and still not answer anything, and it'll still leave you confused. And so I think I'm gonna give the descriptions a C. I'm gonna be like really harsh here and give them a C. But then again, I feel like the descriptions are better than the aesthetic. Are they though? I think I'll give it a C because I just felt like the descriptions could have really been edited. It's like kind of how I talk, how I ramble on. I talk too much. This video's too long. I could use to be edited down more. That's how I felt about this book too. So we do have something in common after all. I'm actually going to do enjoyment and worth the hype last. Let's actually do price point. So what is the actual price point? It's like $30 max, $20 to $30. Yeah, the price point, it's superior. If the price point for what you're getting is crazy, and that is definitely an S tier because no matter how I feel about it, no matter what, it's like the price point is so good that it's like, well, yeah, it was worth me seeing my own opinion for. Like, I don't feel like I wasted my money at all. I definitely got more than my money's worth out of it. I was able to use it straight for like 2.5 months. Now let's go to the imagery. So I've kind of already talked about some of my complaints about imagery already, but obviously the aesthetic is like almost my aesthetic, but just off of center. Yes, they added a lot of like astrological significators, but it just felt like after a while it got repetitive and cheap and like forceful to try to add them in, especially like the people in here. It feels like it's like the same 3 faces kind of that you keep seeing, and they all kind of look similar. The men are all like very feminine men, which is fine for a little bit. I'm not saying there can be no feminine men in here, but there's exclusively feminine men in here is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of like heterosexual imagery. There's like no homosexual imagery in here. It's like, if you're going to choose such feminine men, then you should have some homosexual imagery. And I know you're like, well, but you know what I'm trying to say. You get what I'm trying to say? It's just kind of weird to see all these pretty girls making out with these like guys with like full beats on, like full faces of makeup on and like full contour. And it's just not my thing, I guess. But come on, like this guy, gay as hell. He's even got the cancer sign tattooed on him. Like, it's just kind of weird. I'm not against gay shit at all. And I think a lot of gay guys are hot and stuff, but like he should be doing that with another guy. Like, you guys, you have to understand what I'm saying. You can cancel me if you want, but you get what I'm saying, right? Should I move descriptions up to a B? Yeah, okay. I'm changing my mind. I'm moving descriptions up to a B, and I'm putting the imagery and the aesthetic both in C tier. Okay, now enjoyment. Just my general enjoyment. Did I enjoy using this deck every day? I don't know. It's between a B or a C. I feel like I can't put it at C. That's too mean. I'm being too hard on the deck. I'll put my general enjoyment at B. You know, I felt very lukewarm about this deck, honestly. The only thing I feel really passionate about not liking is just the aesthetic, like really not being for me. Should I put the aesthetic in D? No, it's still a little bit me. Let's be real. I do own these clothes. It is a little bit me. But I will have to say, is it worth the hype? Is it worth all the hype that I always see online, at least in the tarot sphere and the people that I watch? Oh, it's the most amazing deck. Oh, it's the best thing ever. Oh, it's so good. The book. Oh. No, it's not worth that at all. I'm putting that in D. Is this worth the hype? Honestly, not really. Wait, that's so mean. Maybe, am I just wanting to be more negative? Should I put it in C? The only thing that's really dragging the is this worth the hype up is the fact that like I get what people are saying as far as like the book. So, okay, fine. I'll put it in C. I'll put it's worth the hype. It's about a C. I'll be nice. So, yeah, we have price point is obviously the best part. The titles were the only thing that really drove me up a wall. It kind of runs more C, B tier. That makes a lot of sense, but the quality of it in the book is the superior thing that's really dragging this up. So is this worth the hype? I will say, if this is your vibe, buy it. If you don't like the aesthetic, you're not gonna like this deck. And that was something that drove me crazy about this deck and why I want to do this full video on it, because everybody's saying, even if it's not your aesthetic, you should get it. I love it. It's fucking, I would fucking wear a purity ring and save myself and pray to the god of tarot of vampires if I could. I don't understand that. At all. All right. Well, thank you for watching this review. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you felt like it was worth it. And I feel like you now have a very educated decision on whether you or not you want to spend that prized $20 to $30 on this deck, or whether you should save it and buy treats for your dogs. That's the only place my money goes to. Again, I sell birth chart readings if you're interested, and I sell tarot readings if you're interested on my website, shainaemily.com. I have also been extraordinarily active on my TikTok at shaina.emily. Check me out over there. I'm posting more tarot content over there as well, and I have a personal Instagram. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know if you want more tarot deck reviews, because I do love tarot decks. I'm super into them. I'll just be honest. Yes, all right, thank you so much for watching. Bye!